I'm Mark Smelly Bell, and we're going to explain to you how to build up some big lats. My boy Nsima has a little tip. My boy Nsima has a tip for you guys today that might be a little different than what you're used to. So let's see what we got.
Why does everybody say it's so little?
I don't know. People are insulting.
God, people
are
so
jealous.
Mean. I like my little tip. Anyway, so when it comes to like the hammer strength row, a lot of these different rowing movements and back movements, I see a lot of individuals when they're rowing, they'll stack on 5 plates, they'll get in here and they'll bring it all the way back. Look at my elbows, by the way. If you see my elbows are all the way back here, they'll bring it all the way back, they won't have any control, right? And I kind of think all that's a little bit useless.
Dude, you just described my whole lifting career.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that's just the way it
We
is.
need to maybe talk about this a little. I mean, I'm kind of getting sad.
I wasn't trying to. Hey, you made it. You made it about you. I wasn't trying to pinpoint you. I wasn't trying to say that you did this, but
it
you
hurts. You know, I just.
Well, you said I had a little tip.
That's true.
What do you expect?
That's true. I'm just trying to speak with facts. That's all, and not feelings.
All right, we're all facts, no feelings. All feelings, no facts. Okay, let's get to this. So, the big thing whenever I pay attention to rowing movements and do rowing movements, the first thing is I try to pull with the elbow. Okay? Because when you pull with the elbow, first off, it helps get rid of a lot of activation of the forearm, and I get more back activation. But along with that, let's look at specifically the hammer strength machine. The first thing I do is I depress the shoulder. So I like to get activation in my lat. Man, gotta have this on. I like to get lat activation before I actually begin the pull.
We got enough microphones going on.
You got enough microphones?
Yeah, take everything off. Shoes, hat, underpants.
We'll keep the hat on. We'll keep the hat on, but we'll move the mic over here. So,
I didn't know it was going to be like this.
All right, I want to show you guys something real quick. This is where my shoulders are normal. When I start a lat movement, I depress the shoulder. You can see what happens with the lat here.
You guys see all that, you know, coming up from the hip?
Right? Like normal shoulder depression, right? That will help me get more lat activation, and also it'll help me activate or pull better with my elbow. So the first step when it comes to this is depression of the shoulder, and then you'll notice with my grip right here, I don't like to grip hard. Most people, when they're using too much weight so they could put on 4 plates, 5 plates, they'll grip super hard here and then they'll pull. But do you see all that bicep activation going on? Do you see all this forearm activation going on? When I do this, I like to first off use a pistol grip, okay? So grab with 3 fingers, pistol grip, depress, and if you notice, like, if you touch my bicep right here, my bicep's soft. It's not flexed. I don't have to do this. It's soft, because everything right now is in my lat. Then I pull, 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 and then I'm back here.
Stay right there for a second. Notice all this is activated. He hasn't started the lift yet. He already initiated some intensity into the lat before he ever did anything. Go ahead and bring the shoulder back up. Relax, bring the shoulder back up. And you kind of see how all that's stretched, which there's nothing wrong with having that in a stretched position. But to kind of pre-activate everything, he's going to load it and bring the shoulder down towards the ground.
See, shoulder depression, activation, pull with the elbow, which is why I use the pistol grip to take the forearm and the bicep as much out of the picture as possible. Boom. I feel that lat activation massively. Now I do like to get a lot of range of motion, so when I come back, maybe sometimes I will let it stretch out. But then before I start the movement, depression, pull with the elbow, back up.
That part where you're pushing the weight back out is a little bit maybe the way you would flex on stage when you're trying to really spread the lats out as wide as you possibly can, right?
Exactly, exactly. You're gonna be right there. But this is the thing. If you do it this way, you can't use as much weight. You're not gonna be packing on 4 plates initially. You know, you're gonna be using maybe 2 plates, maybe 3. But if you can get stronger with that, then your lats are actually going to get much stronger because you're taking your forearms and your biceps out of the picture and you're getting everything where it's supposed to be. The big concept is you're trying to feel it here. You're going to get a little bit of bicep, but you don't want your biceps. Most people when they're rowing, you see where the biceps are right there? They're getting all this bicep activation, whereas when you look at what I do here, still bicep activation, but it's not as flexed. I'm not using this as much for this movement.
It looks pretty simple to me. What kind of rep and set scheme would you suggest? Just kind of normal stuff?
Depends on the day. If you do back twice a week, I usually like to have a day where I do heavier movements. So it could be 5 to 8 reps, okay? Or like maybe 4 sets of 5 to 8 reps. And then another day where I do higher reps for more hypertrophy. So it could be, again, 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps. But I lift it the same way. Depression, pull, as much activation as the lat as possible, and back. I do this with rows too. I don't row. If you also notice, one big thing is the elbow position. When you see a lot of people do this, come all the way back here, right? If you're doing this way where you depress,
The elbow doesn't need to travel as far.
the elbow will not travel as far. I have to work so hard to get my elbow back here. There's no reason because my lat is activating as much as possible right here, and I'm right back.
You're at the end range of what your lat can do.
I'm at the end range.
Otherwise, you're just kind of pulling and twisting and...
Exactly. But most people, because they're not really focusing on their lats and they're just pulling, they just end up coming all the way back here, thinking that they're getting, a crazy lat pump or whatever, and they're just not getting that much out of the movement.
To get stronger, is there a reason just to kind of go for it and let loose with the form and technique, or do you try to keep it tight?
If you can get strong with the form and technique, it'll take longer. That's the thing. It's like by just letting loose and just going for it.
You can throw an extra plate on there.
Yeah, you can throw an extra plate on there, but then now your biceps are taking some of the load, your forearms are taking some of the load, momentum is being used to pull some of the load. So you're not actually, the muscle you're trying to work is not doing as much work.
Right.
Your biceps adding into it, you got momentum adding into it. Like so many factors are making the weight a little bit more useless.
And it's probably crushing a lot of your other workouts because your entire central nervous system is at play. Your entire body is moving. When you're putting 4 plates on there and doing it as Nsima was describing right there, that's going to take a lot of energy out of you. It's going to take a lot of grip. Here we're getting a lot of lat activation. We get a lot of work in with just a plate or 2 plates, whatever your strength level is currently. If we can get more out of less, that sounds like a pretty smart way to train. It also sounds a way to maybe avoid some injuries as well.
Absolutely. Can't imagine so this is the thing. I've made this mistake in the past when I've been training too. And I injured my back doing heavy hammer strength rows when I was like 18 because I was freaking loading. My back was coming into this position and I was pulling. And then I think it was my mid back. I pulled a muscle in my mid back because of the stupidity, right? Doing this is safer. You're going to be able to get overall bigger. You're going to get more muscle activation, which is going to just play better in the long run. So you got to go backwards a little bit as far as the weight and the load is concerned so you can make long-term progress. That's all there is to it.
It's going to be a lot easier for you to bring up your squat, for you to bring up your deadlift when you're training like this as opposed to slapping 4 plates on there and just moving around like a maniac. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Catch you guys later.